The Merch King of Kappa, a novel by Jodi Nathanson. Chapter 1. The Grounds of a Prestigious American University. Campus Bulletin. Community mourns untimely death of scholarship student. Due to the complicated nature of the case, no further details can be released at this time. We ask that journalists and the media support suicide prevention by excluding images or depictions of the death, the location of the death, and not naming the method used. 1 month earlier. The grounds of a prestigious American university. Tony. If I get out of bed today, it'll be an accomplishment. I'm in a terrible funk and can't seem to articulate why. Sal and Saul are seriously pissing me off despite their noble intentions, unrelenting in their quest to diagnose me. How can I explain my crippling sadness to them when I don't even understand it myself? Clearly these new meds aren't working. Maybe it's time to consider upping my dose, but who has the time or energy to schedule a doctor's appointment? Maybe I'm just not wired to be a social animal. I often wonder what I'm doing in this frat house, and how someone so melancholy and damaged manages to have any friends at all, but here I am. Blessed with tons of loyal buddies. I'm literally the only one in Kappa without wealthy parents, a drug habit, and a trust fund, and yet the guys insisted I rush and that I was a total shoo-in for the coveted spot. Everyone here knows that the students on financial assistance don't usually mix much with the legacy kids or the kids from affluent families who pay full tuition and make generous donations. But I've never experienced any animosity or resentment from my Kappa bros. Might they appreciate talent? I design really cool merch for this school, and everything I create sells out the minute it hits the shelves, which I guess impresses people. Still, it's so bizarre that this is my life right now. It feels so excessive and meaningless, kind of like a bottomless pit of complete darkness. The themed frat parties are pure hedonism, and they just don't inspire, drive, or invigorate me. Being surrounded by a sea of scantily clad, clutching individuals who can't seem to control their intense thirst for sensual pleasure actually zaps my energy and numbs my brain. And the only reason I need to leave my cozy bed today is to figure out a decent costume for the upcoming masquerade bash Kappa is throwing. Yippee. Thankfully, Sal and Saul have class this afternoon. Naturally, they signed up for all the same courses at the exact same time, so their schedules are identical. Sal and Saul, or Saul and Sal, are completely inseparable, like one person, but there are two of them, always glued together 24/7. Sometimes I think they take turns breathing for each other, like their codependency is that extreme. Other people find their friendship really annoying because they don't seem to have their own minds or personalities, but I know they mean well, and they do seem to care about me. Still, I thought they'd never leave my room, and all I wanted to do was wallow in my deep-rooted sadness alone. Misery is cool. It didn't bother me so much when they assumed I was stressed about my upcoming merch drop or anxious about maintaining my near-perfect GPA. Nonetheless, I was super unimpressed when they asked if I was distracted by affairs of the heart. It's seriously no one's business, and they already know who my heart belongs to anyhow. Chapter 2. Belmont, Italy. Pia. This is just too much, even for me, and I can handle a lot. All I can say is, what the hell were you thinking, Dad? You die and leave your only child to manage the Belmont estate by herself? Seriously? Yes, I'm pre-law, but just because I took a few courses in economics and business leadership doesn't mean I want this responsibility, especially not now. And if you trust me like that and think I'm ready to take care of the Belmont property on my own, why on earth would you orchestrate a ludicrous casket game, which leaves me at the mercy of a man who can solve your riddles? This game of yours is designed to dictate my love life and my marriage, and yes, I am seething with anger. I feel like a balloon that's been pumped so full of air that I'll burst even at the slightest provocation. I can almost forgive you for dying, but I'm really struggling with the fact that you're attempting to control my life beyond the grave with something so foolish. I wish you were still alive so I could force you to acknowledge the disturbing nature of your plan. It's not cute, clever, or thoughtful. This is a whole new level of messed up. I am incredulous that you somehow managed to convince your lawyers to comply with this nonsense. Clearly they were afraid of you. I heard they toiled for many hours drafting this whole thing to actually make it legally binding. You must have been really fucking persuasive. And the result? Anyone who wins this preposterous game of yours is promised my hand in marriage. Like, how old school is that? Who even uses archaic language like that? And whatever happened to dating someone first? This is so ridiculous and unfair, Dad. I think that cancer must have affected your brain, because this eccentric plan of yours is completely insane, even for you. Everyone I know is partying and enjoying their last year of college, and here I am, feeling like a prisoner, stuck in Italy with no one except Neri. You have no idea how much I miss my sorority sisters and all my guy friends in the Kappa house. There is specifically one my heart aches for at this very moment, and I just want to be able to lay eyes on him again. Not that you would understand. The masquerade is only a few days away, and it's going to be the party of the year. It hurts to know he's going to be there surrounded by admirers. I have such FOMO right now, and I'm going to feel more deflated when I see the big event posted all over Snap and pretty much every other social media platform. It'll be torture. I know you can't hear me, Dad, but this isn't what's best for my future. Losing Mom at such a young age was horrific, and now I've lost you. I don't want to lose Belmont, too. So yes, I will humor you and honor your foolhardy and ill-conceived wishes. I'll play along and be a chess piece in your bizarre game, but know that it is against my will. And the worst part is that no one will understand my frustration or sympathize with my poor little rich girl plight, because who can possibly relate to something as outlandish as this? Chapter 3. The Grounds of a Prestigious American University. Baz. What is wrong with this ATM machine? I know there's supposed to be some cash in my savings account, so where is it? I'm going to lose my mind. My parents suck so hard. Screw them for cutting me off. It's not even their money. I guess I should explain. It was Grandpa's, and he was this really rich dude from an obscenely wealthy family. And here's the thing. He so would have wanted me to have access to these funds. I happened to look just like him, and when I chose to attend this old college, he was on cloud 9. Maybe it's my sandy blonde hair, tanned skin, green flecked eyes, and perfect smile that always made him favor me. I used to visit him all the time. We were so close. When I learned that he was ill, I had a lot of trouble coping with everyday life. All of a sudden, I felt really sad and anxious, so I tried to distract myself with my buddies and lots of hardcore partying. I really miss him. He was the only one in the family who, really understood me and loved me unconditionally. I always knew I was a disappointment to my parents, who had these crazy high expectations of what I should be achieving in terms of sports and grades, because they wanted to brag about my achievements and impress their flashy friends. I've spent enough time posing in front of the mirror to know that my physical attractiveness is my greatest asset. If I'm being completely truthful, it might be my only asset. But what I lack in the academic scholar department, I make up for with charm. And it's not my fault the good looks genes skipped a generation. Sorry, Dad. But now, I'm seriously fucked. I promised to foot the bill for the masquerade Kappa is throwing, and we need booze and dope and decor. This party is really important for the school spirit, and it's my last year, so I need to make sure it's an unforgettable evening. I'm kind of a legend here, and I'd like to be remembered as such after I graduate. What's that word again? The one that my old Shakespeare prof with the white beard keeps using in pretty much every single lecture? I think it's legacy. I need to, leave one. I really do hope I can graduate, actually. Could I be one course short? It might be time to check in with an academic advisor before the semester ends. This money thing is becoming a real problem, and as much as I hate myself for it, I need to ask Tony for another loan. He's the only one who's flush with cash these days, and he can never say no to me. I just don't see much of a way out without his financial help. But I don't want to push him deeper into his debilitating depression or cause him any more stress or pain. Still, I'm pretty desperate at the moment. So desperate, in fact, that I've even considered trying to pursue that thing with Pia. She's so beyond loaded. I'm envious that her parents are dead, too. I know that makes me sound like a total douche, but I'm jealous of the freedom that comes with being an orphan. I'm so over my parents controlling my spending, while they travel and buy properties literally all over the globe, and I'm stuck at school wearing last season's Prada loafers. I assume if Pia and I tied the knot, her family would be ours to share. I would never agree to a prenup, and she wouldn't force me into something binding like that. She's very cool that way, and she's super hot for a girl. I mean, she's a total smoke show, if girls are your thing. Chapter 4. Belmont, Italy. Neri. Welcome to Belmont. Today's been totally nuts. There are tons of Pia worshippers arriving at the estate every 2 minutes because Casket Game is now trending all over TikTok. Random men have spawned from all over for a chance to gamble and win, and the potential prize is Pia, my oldest, dearest, and of course, wealthiest friend. Pia is as gorgeous as she is glamorous. She looks like a celebrity, and it's hard to believe she's a real person sometimes. I often feel like the Betty to her Veronica, minus the blonde hair and blue eyes, but we've been super close since we were 5, and I can't imagine my life without her. Still, it's not always easy living in the shadow of someone so fabulous because, I selfishly admit, that sometimes I crave my own light. It's both shocking and disturbing how the media is objectifying her. Pia is so much more than a flawless face, a fashion icon, and a perfectly toned body. It seems like everyone knows she's an heiress now, too. Beautiful and rich, quite a winning combination. And Belmont is... I don't have the words to describe how picturesque and enchanted it feels here. Time just moves slower. Of course, every single hopeful wants to inherit this luxurious estate by the sea. Part of me is envious of the attention this Casket Game is commanding, and part of me is high-key stressed for Pia. She's legally bound to follow the rules outlined by her father before he passed, which is really crazy. He wasn't an evil man, and I sort of get his rationale behind this, but the game takes all of Pia's power away, and I don't actually think it's fair to her. I will say that I do kind of enjoy going through the list of men after they arrive, while Pia gives me the tea on each one. It feels so delightfully wicked to belittle and dismiss them all. It's pretty entertaining, since they're all such creeps and losers. One had 0 personality. Another was a total alcoholic with terrible breath. One had the most unfashionable clothes, and another had a horse fetish. Pia and I were literally losing it over him because he was such a horse freak. And these men are ugly. Fortunately, most seem to be leaving Belmont soon. They don't have the balls to actually play the game her father designed. At least he made sure there was a risk involved. Good on him. Chapter 5. The Grounds of a Prestigious American University. I did my best to try to cheer Tony up, but man, the poor guy is so glum. Like when I'm around him, he sucks all the positive energy out of my system. I love all my Kappa bros and take a bullet for any one of them, but poor Tony is quite possibly the most unhappy dude I've ever met. Sal and Saul don't have much success with Tony either, but they aren't as close with him as I am, so I give it the old college try, but I think it was a fail. Sadly, he's as dispirited and dejected as ever, and it's kind of hard not to feel gloomy yourself when one of your best buddies is so down and out. Sal and Saul just assumed I could cure Tony's wistful sadness because I'm the clown of our friend group. It's a role I've embraced because it ensures my inclusion, but sometimes I get tired and don't actually want to play the fool. I am quite studious and earn pretty high grades in my courses, which my friends literally have no clue about because I'm such a great actor. It's my own fault for pretending to be brain dead half the time, but I did get into this college based on merit. Imagine that. I've never shared that detail about myself because no one would believe it. I guess it's par for the course when there's a whole college library named after your family. What really irks me, though, is that it seems like every time I open my mouth to speak, my friends tune out or start laughing. Their dismissiveness gets under my skin because there's real substance to my thoughts. But any time I take a risk and try to articulate them, I become an object of ridicule. They assume I'm all brawn and no brains, but it just isn't true. I'm not sure when I clued in that I was being mocked pretty much the majority of the time, but it was an unpleasant realization and definitely tough on the ego. The path of least resistance is to simply accept this, and I have. but it's comparable to the feeling of worms gnawing away at my authentic self. I yearn to speak my truth, even though I know I never will. It sucks to feel weighed down by people's low expectations, but rocking the boat just isn't my way. So it's good times, Garth, all the damn time, bro. Chapter 6. The Grounds of a Prestigious American University. Shy. Is that Baz lounging in front of my res in red silk pajama bottoms? What on earth is that broke-ass pretty boy doing, slumming it on this side of the campus? I despise all those Kappa bros. Baz is also Tony's BFF or BF or whatever. I seriously don't care what their relationship status is, but Tony is literally the worst, and any friend of his isn't a friend of mine. I don't care how good-looking Baz is or how much riz he has, he's almost as bad as Tony. Just last week, Tony posted some anti-Semitic slur and Baz liked it, of course. Not surprising, since Baz isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Still, he should know better. Every time Tony throws shade on the Jewish people, it gets to me. I wish I was immune, but I can't help feeling sensitive. All feelings about Baz aside, Tony offering free tutoring to his bonehead friends is really what makes my blood boil. Like, where do I even start? I hate losing business to him and his oh-so-generous spirit. Ghostwriting other students' papers and selling them study notes is legit the only way I can cover any extra living expenses, and no one will pay for something they can get for free. I need this lucrative side hustle. After Mom passed away, the financial pressure was all on me, and I pride myself on taking care of Jess, best sister ever. I'm so grateful she's on campus with me now. Those few years without my sister were lonesome. I hate this unwelcoming school, but the full-ride scholarships make it a bit less painful. We study so fucking hard. It isn't easy, but I'm trying to live a Jewish life here, and I know this would make our mom happy. She was so connected to her heritage, and her Zeta, our great-grandfather, was a Holocaust survivor. Sadly, we lost him before my bar mitzvah, and he never talked much to us about his time in the concentration camp, but I know he witnessed many atrocities, and that his Judaism was an integral part of him. His memory has been a real source of strength, and when I'm having a difficult time feeling like an outsider at school, I just try to put it all into perspective. My great-grandfather lived through much darker times and survived the worst kind of persecution. So I wear my kippah proudly and try to soldier on. I need this degree if I'm ever going to get a job which pays enough to support Jess and I, but I'm anxious to graduate, buy a nice house for us, and get away from all these entitled cretins. Pretty sure there's another rager this weekend for those animals. It'll be hard to study with the pulsating noise on campus, which almost makes me think I should maybe buy a ticket and go. I mean, they might not sell one to me, but I could certainly try. The issue is that I know I'd have the worst time ever. I don't binge drink, drugs aren't my jam, and I'm not friends with these people, except on Instagram. We have completely different values, and Tony and his whole crew have made it pretty clear that I'm undesirable. If I had $1 for every time he flipped me the bird, I'd be a rich man. I really feel like it's personal, too. He acts like I've wronged him, and I wish I knew why. When he calls me dirty dog Jew, I just try to ignore him. No one takes more showers than me. I'm actually pretty OCD about that, not to mention that my neck is still stinging and chafed from that time he got all up in my face and pulled my Mag and David necklace so hard because apparently I was walking too slowly into economics class. Of course, I didn't retaliate or complain because what good would come of it? I wish he would just leave me alone so we could quietly coexist. Maybe the synagogue has a seminar or something the night of the party, because it's going to be pretty hard to concentrate and study for midterms. Perhaps Tubes is free and can come with, since the frat party scene isn't his thing either. I wish Jess would come, but after Mom died, she's really been struggling with her faith, and I don't want to force it. Tubes and I belong to a very small shul here, and I'm so grateful it exists. A small Jewish community is certainly better than no community at all.